Hello everybody and welcome to this interior design tutorial in which I'm going to show you how easy it is to rebuild this Wendy's dining space in Shapr3D. We will first start by looking at the supplied assets, for example the scan and the images, and study what would be the best way to start our sketches and model the space. Once the space is built, then we can activate the furniture and populate the scene. This is actually a very crucial phase because now we can verify if our design is actually good. For example, how many people can fit onto this table? Can they sit comfortably? Because this, for example, is very important for something like a restaurant. And then in the end, we add materials to indicate, for example, light emitting objects or a TV with a glossy surface, etc. And with all that said, let's do it. So let's get started with the demo file. The download link is in the description of this video. As you can see in this scene, we have on top the front, the side, and a perspective image of that space. Below is a three-dimensional scan, and then we have the set of furniture that should go into that space. Go back to the front view and take a look at these two images. We can see that essentially we can draw everything from the side and then extrude it out left and right. I mean, I could also do the same in the front view, for example. But here drawing this wooden board will actually be easier because I can just left and right define where that is. Okay, so that's the reason why I'm going to start sketching this here. I start with a sketch from the origin. I go over and down and back and up and to the origin again and escape. Select everything, horizontal, vertical. We can make this foundation a foot, so 12 inches. Bring this over a little bit, let's say to there. This is really more representing kind of like the ground. And since we did this, it makes sense then to also draw, let's say, what's there for the ceiling. A quick rectangle. I will specify this to 5 inches. And then here, this vertical distance, I make to 112.5 inches. To make left and right edges equal, I mean not equal, vertically aligned, now we can select them and then say tangent. There we are. So they look at each other. Perfect. So now I can go ahead, select my two sketch profiles, go to extrude, symmetry, and move this one out. 72 inches. That's pretty good. I'm going to turn off my furniture so they don't distract me for the moment. So that's kind of done. Nice. Now I can take a look at this center wall section. Essentially, we have 3 red rectangles and 4 gray rectangles, and the top and bottom have the same size, and the two in the center have the same height. And then the red ones, now, yeah, we can play with those. So I can show you how we can quickly set this up. I will turn this off, turn the bodies off, turn the sketch back on. There we are. So here's the rectangle, and there's just one rectangle. There's a second rectangle. There's another rectangle. Now you see this. And then now how do I do the other rectangles? I can then draw in the individual lines and align them with the tangent command, or I do something like this. I simply draw 2 lines through the other rectangles, as you can see, and that actually creates then the fill for the gray and the fill for the red rectangles to extrude. Okay, that's good. Maybe at this point we want to see the scan. push this over. Let's see, what's the distance? Let's make this 8 inches. And those, yeah, 10 inches is fine. I would like to have this actually maybe perfectly centered, left and right. Yeah, 1 second. Turn this one off. So these rectangles are on the z-axis. That is perfect. But these here, they need to go over there. Now this is left and right, perfectly centered. I can select this line, and then go to symmetry and use the z-axis as a symmetry. So when this one goes, there you see now how this goes left and right. We also saw how that was rotating. So horizontal, vertical, and then we do the same here, 1 inches. Okay, very good. So that's done. Then let's go back to the scan. We can bring this one up, let's say to there. Okay, what is the distance? What do we have here? Let's say 5 inches. Then we do the same at the bottom. Okay, so U to U, 5 inches. Very good. We have this other one here. Now we have these tiny gaps, maybe 2 inches and 2 inches. Very good. Well, there you see this already. It's actually pretty easy. And and that should be, what about we make this 12? Yeah, let's make this 12. Then we can say all these upper edges, I make all equal. So I only have to do this 1 time. Very good. If I make this 11, you see how this shrinks quite nicely. Pretty cool. Okay. I will go with 12 because then I have a nice squarish gap here. So the height is also the width. Let's go back to our scan. We also see where that table, for example, is. And there we can see, that one has to be higher. Good. So this point or that point doesn't matter. I just start dragging up to somewhere. And then I can specify, good, let's make this 42. There we are, not 12. That is smaller. Okay, what is this one? Let's say 14. How much is this one? 42. Well, we can actually say, hey, these two be the same, equal, clock. And then this one will be 14.5. Very good. Nice. Now we also have the ability to sketch out the tabletop. These lines should be all horizontal, vertical. The height, 4 inches from here to the ground. Or maybe easier would be to select a line and line. Oh, there's the one. So 40. I'm going to bring this down to 40 inches. 41. Now this is something then where we can specify how high actually this should be. 3 and maybe 96. Yeah, 96 looks good. Beautiful. Cool. Let's turn this one off. And then now all we need to do is just simply extrude the stuff out. So I can select this rectangle and this rectangle and this and this. And then we go extrude and symmetry, push this out. I don't really know yet how far. So I will click and then I will select the missing pieces, do one again. Now this goes wider, but actually to this +2 later. Now we need to keep this in mind. And then here we have our table. I will turn on the scan now. and extrude this to, let's say 18 inches. Perfect. Now with the scan visible, we can go ahead, go back to our scans here. So bring this out. I would say 47. So that means 47 minus 2. No, this is not 47. This is 45, 2 inches. There, look at this. This is actually really easy to sketch everything out nice and fast. Very good. 2 inches might actually now look might take too much. So we can go back to that original sketch and say, so show me all the dimensions there, 12. Okay, maybe we make this 11. Then it's only 1 inch to each side. I make this 1 inch. I make this 1 inch. You see, that pulled everything down. Very good. That we have enough space for the TV to get into there. And the only thing maybe left to do is, so this was 47, so this now has to be 46. So it's just only 1 inch. Done. That wasn't a very complicated setup. Beautiful. Good. Let's go ahead and actually start detailing everything a little bit more. I will continue working with the W. Here's the scan. We'll make the W nicely flush with the edge of the table. There we are. On this face, I will create a new sketch. And then from there to there, I draw a line. From there to there, I draw a line. And then I have something in there, and I have something in there. I always draw actually onto the edges of the surfaces to the z-axis and back down. Very good. Okay. Now these lines are parallel. These lines are parallel. These lines will be parallel. And there. Very good. I'm not sure what they're doing here. Then I can draw here a line, and I draw there a line, yeah, and I draw there a line, down here and down there. All these bodies I will put into one folder and hide it, so it's easier to see my W. Go back to that sketch. Because we need to make sure everything is nicely centered. Oh, this looks pretty good. So let's say here, this one, that is good. From this midpoint or endpoint to this midpoint, I draw this line. That's a construction, vertical, horizontal. And you see how this perfected it. That is 5. That should be 5. Bring this back. There we are. Those all have to be horizontal, vertical, no, not you, and you. These all are equal. So, they're all 5. I bring this one down onto the axis. They are also tangent to each other. Sure. Now you see actually how easy it was to retrace that W. So then we select the W and simply extrude this in. let's say 3 inches. Very good. It's nice and flush at the end, so we can put that onto it. If we want to move the whole piece a little bit in, we can later select the body and then move this in, let's say 1 inch, for example, like this. Yeah, not too complicated. But I liked it really nicely being flushed there. So if a liquid spills, it flows over them, can wipe it. It's a restaurant, they shouldn't spill. Good, so that's done. The next easiest thing are going to be the TVs. How do we do TVs? Very complicated. We go back to our sketch here. Then, sure, rectangle thing. Zip. There is our TV. I don't know, something like this. Oh, by the way, there is also here a fireplace. So let's put in a beautiful fireplace. Make sure all these lines are horizontal, vertically constrained. 3.5. I'm just cleaning that stuff up. 24. Very good. Yeah, you go to here. Let's say you lock, and then now I rotate this. So by locking the center point, I can then very easily rotate the edges. There should also be, let's say, 2 inches. It's a nice thin flat screen, 26. For this is something where, let's say, you might load in a model of an existing TV or something. Cool. Okay, beautiful. Then let's quickly build those parts. Symmetry. Whoop, bring this out. Definitely feels like it can go to, let's say, like 24.5. Here is the other TV that is smaller. Let's go 20. And here's our fireplace. And always with the symmetry, pull this out, 27. Then here we have a beautiful detail. There we just shell it, and with the shelling automatically we created this beautiful frame. You see this? And then here we do shell 2, flop, let's say 2 inches, 1.5. Yeah, that's fine. The shelling does add, as you can see, this feeling of something is indented. Perfect. Very good. Cool. Now, the TVs are floating. This is really just a concept model, so this is fine. The next thing, last one to model, is actually the lighting detail. That is quite interesting to figure out and think, how could we do this? I will actually go back to the original sketch here too and clean up the scene a little bit. There, thank you. So I don't have to see it all the time. Go to the sketch, turn this one off for the moment so I don't see the dimensions all the time. And from here down over, don't click on that midpoint. And then from here straight up is a line. And those will be horizontal, vertically constrained. Then I can turn on, whoa, the scan was actually really close. Let's make this 90, very good. What's this? 16, good. You guessed it, 3D view. And then we do again our symmetry extrusion. Let's say till there. So it looks like 42.5. And isolate the object. Select top and bottom, and then we build the thickness. 6 inches is fine. Very good. Cool. Okay, beautiful. At this point now, I will create, or do I need to make? Yeah, it might make sense now to actually really to make another sketch. So I turn everything off besides this piece. Here's my sketch. And there you can see I can draw here a line. Now, there you see this. Very good. And I want later to have at 1, 2, 3 positions actually a light. And I want there to be even distribution to be there. So the light is going to be really very simple. So I will, because I would like to have an interactive element, I could draw the lamp and then make a copy, move it, or with the pattern command, or I could, for example, sketch 3 lamps and then revolve them. So do we have the lamp? No, it's not in there, but you see it's a really, really basic design. Okay. Can go to a section cut so we can see what that thing is. There we are. I will do it this way. I would like to have 3 lamps. So there, I'm drawing these lines one more time. And then from here to there, to there, to there, to there, I draw these spacer lines. Select everything, horizontal, vertical, and then these lines will be equal. So you see now that basically I have exactly the perfect position where later I want the other lamps to be. Good. Then very quickly, we just block out something that can look like a lamp. There we are. And one line down here, that is the headpiece. Whoa, 0.5. What is this? 0.5 for and Wendy. And then from here to there, what's the height? 43. I don't know. And there's a metal piece on top. Okay. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Let's say like there, horizontal, 1 inch. Cool. Okay, then um, all these lines here, which I am selecting, are just construction lines. That helps me because now I can go ahead and say, oh, maybe the top one I do not. Then this is filled. So here, revolve and revolve and revolve and revolve. There we are. Cool. Section view off. Then we can select the 3 bodies, which we have. What's actually the distance here? So that is 19.4. Okay. 19, 19, yeah, 19.45. So these 3 linear pattern 19, yeah, 19.4 or 5. It's just in the construction world, that's not going to matter at all. There we are. Cool. We can compare. Does this actually look good? We can show now the rest of our design. The dimensions here we can actually show. So outside the sketch, now we can tailor everything. 40, move this up a little bit. Sure. Pretty cool. Okay. Nice. Let's turn the dimension visibility off. This goes in there, pattern there. We do actually, so this is the pattern. Yeah, so the pattern is actually lamps. That's an easy to see. Good. We are pretty much set with modeling of the space. This is actually very good. You saw this actually really fast when you block this out and really not overworking or making complicated sketches, trying to figure out what is the most economical way to start. I extruded everything towards me, so this was very easy to do. I can start blocking things out a little bit more. So maybe these two I put into a folder and say lighting, put this to there, and then maybe this is the I have no better word right now. I'm blanking. Architecture. Uh, these here I will call electronics. Move this out, and then here this is actually our table. Yeah, and there we are. Actually here, these two, so you and you, folder. Actually, this one I call wall, and this one here, that made sense. Good. Beautiful. Okay, cool. Then, now it's kind of time to stage our stuff. Put the furniture in. That is actually a very crucial point because now we can make sure that whatever we designed is going to also work. I move this over to here and then to there. That is good. Perfect. And let's see how many people can we fit in there. 3 definitely. That's wasted space. There need to be more chairs. More customers can eat delicious Wendy food. There we are. And then all this we simply mirror over to the other side. Plonk. Cool. Yeah, that works, no? I show the scan because here now you see everything is set up to be a little bit in a cozy way. So maybe I start with the table. So yeah, simply bring this over and there and rotate it 50 degrees, 60 degrees, maybe. Okay, good. And then I make a copy and bring this to there. Okay, undo, undo. And I will show you in a second why. Because I want to have individual control over the rotations. So I make a copy of the first one. Yeah. Copy return off, bring this to there, and then 35. Okay, very good. And then I select this whole chair, make a copy, bring this over, turn the copy off, and then what was it, 35? No, there. You see now this way I make sure my angles are perfect. Then I can make a copy. That is going to be 90 degrees. Copy off and move this to the other side. Good. Technically speaking, right here, I can also go ahead and select this one, make a copy, 90 degrees, copy off, move that to there. How does this actually look? Yep, that is good. Then I select all this. I mean, all this. Move this to there. Select the whole thing, go into a top view. Oh, bring this over. Oh, sorry. And then this looks like 20 degrees rotated there. Maybe a little bit different. Okay, beautiful. Now, so you saw kind of like how I one time individually I brought this over, and then there I brought this over. Uh, Otherwise, we can actually, I just realized that only because that's a scan. It doesn't mean I have to follow that scan too, no? So I will turn all this off, go to the top view, and now I will actually select all this, put that to there, move this to there, and then saw how I adjusted this. Double click. I'm just cleaning up now, perfecting this position. There, whoop, plus minus there, very good. Because quite honestly, if this, let's say, is good, how would this look with the symmetry? I just mirror this over. And then we have here a pathway, for example, to walk into. Cool. There's all that stuff. Now we can turn off the views. We can go to Visu, and then we can add some basic materials and also we have to delete those actually. So all this we don't need anymore. Delete. It's not deleted now. There's the command for it. All good. And then back to the Visu. We can start with the stone. It's Wendy's. It's nice and precious. Let's actually make this foundation concrete. We can scale this up a little bit, and then the top there we can go to stone and give this particular material we want to select. Yeah, I mean, why not? Let's make this a little bit crazy. There we have the marble. Here is the table. We have this type of wood, so ash board. So we will use ash board too. Does this look good? No. Turn this off. Oh, I see. I have actually a rotation here for this material already designed. There we are. Make this bigger. Yep. That looks actually nice. Let's say this is some sort of a metal or plastic. We can go to metal and take a look at, is there galvanized steel? Yes, has to be it. That's good. The top one, yeah, that's kind of like ceiling. That's a tough one. We can just make it kind of like this color. The same color, maybe we can also drag onto that one. And here, let's say these are matte paints, so not a glossy paint. Well, actually for washing, glossy paints are better. How can we simulate this? Well, technically speaking, we can go to change material, and we can just go to the, let's say, a plastic material. There we are. And then I drag this ABS plastic onto these two and then change this to kind of like the Wendy's cutter, for example. Then we have also the TVs. We can make this also ABS plastic. There we are. But quite dark. And then the center, that is kind of like a high glossy material. Let me just use this one to make sure we used that correctly. Yes, we did. Very good. Perfect. Cool. For the lamps, we not go wood, I meant metal. We can make this brushed aluminum, bring this over to the lighting, and then we double click the light emitting bodies, change material, utility. There we are. Should be a nice warm light. Perfect. Cool. There we are. We now rotate around. Now here in the viso, we can see this is a little bit too glossy. Also, I just realized why, because that's the fold material. There, bring this back onto there. How does this look when we put this one onto it? ABS matte. No, you need to figure out which is what ABS. Unfortunately, they're all gray. Well, it's not the smartest idea. If you click on the materials, it shows you what object that is. And there, perfect. Can make this maybe a little bit darker if we want. Cool, beautiful. So there we are. Besides this funny accident, which I just noticed, not a big deal. You have to be careful when you move your objects and move them around that there are no loose pieces, for example. And if the mistake is there, I will have the mistake there too. There we are. Fantastic. So now this is done. We can export this as a 3D model to load this into a render program. We can export this as images to load into an AI render program, or we can create technical drawings, for example, from this set so that the construction crew would understand how actually to build this interior space for Wendy's. Perfect, we're done.